people, and welcome to Finex Skills Hub. Here we learn, we connect, and we grow. We are still exploring AI tools, particularly Gemini, and how we can take advantage of it to improve work at the office. Now, in this short video, we want to recreate a video we did some years back on how to extract data from your bank statement and analyze. So usually, because most bank statements come in PDF, sometimes extracting it can be a bit tricky. So we want to learn how to use Gemini to get the data in a structured form, analyze it, and ultimately even create a financial dashboard that will give us some financial insights on how our financials are going. So if you are game, join me and let's get started. Right, so we are going to begin with a sample bank statement. This is just a dummy bank statement we put together. Now, this is for August, and then this is for September. What we want to do is to extract the data in this bank statement in a structured way. Then we'll clean it up a bit, and then use it to create a sample, very simple financial dashboard that takes the shape of a waterfall chart, basically telling us our opening balance, our total period inflows, total period outflows, and our final net position. It splits it by month as well. Okay. Now, beyond the financial dashboard, you also have access to that structured data that you can do further analysis on. Okay. So we are going to use one of the Google AI platforms called NotebookLM. So Notebook allows you to bring data. Data can be any type of data, from PDF files, from YouTube links, from text, right? So notebooklm.google.com, right? There are basically three panes. So this left pane is where you add your sources. Then in the middle, this is where you get the synthesis or an overview of the insights it has drawn from your sources. You can further prompt it to get further and better details or a more specific output. The difference between NotebookLM and the generic Gemini is that even though it uses Gemini and Nano Banana to create images, NotebookLM is grounded in your source. So there's little chance of hallucination. Anything that you read or interpret is coming from the sources you've given it. So every output is verifiable, right? So if you have any PDF or any spreadsheets or any of the resources, you can be sure that any analysis it's making is coming from this source, right? So as for the sources, there are many here. So you have the Google Workspace, you have website, you have YouTube links, you can copy and paste, you have direct website links as well, right? So for our purpose, we've already loaded these two files in our Google Drive. So you can see the bank statement for August and the bank statement for September. So I'll go ahead and then direct it to the Google Drive. So this is what I have. So I'm first going to select the August statement and then follow up with the September statement. And I'll go ahead and insert. Now, what it normally will do is that once you're given the source, it will try and give you an overview. Okay. So once you get an overview, you can now prompt it for a more specific output. So you now have these sources in. You can now create any output using these artigraphs. So you can create an audio overview, which will essentially turn it into a podcast with 2 characters that allows you to get deeper insights on what you have actually loaded. You can also have a video overview similar to the audio overview, but this time around you have some interaction in the presentation. A mind map will allow you to break down and decompose what you have loaded. Okay, reports will give you a detailed report with references. Flashcards, usually good for learning and making sure that you understand some of the key insights in there. You could also enhance your knowledge by doing quizzes, right? In recent times, what they've added, which is very useful, is the use of data tables, right? But before data tables, you could also create infographics and a full slide deck, right? So like a presentation. Now, what we want to do is that based on the 2 statements, we want to create or extract the data. okay, so that we can get an editable table. So in the data table, right, I will use this pencil icon. I'll go in here, extracts. I'll prompt so that it extracts the data. So I've already put together my prompts. So extract the data in the bank statement using the following headers. So it helps if you are able to detail the headers or fields you want the extraction to be done with. So posting date, transaction date, description, debit, credit, and balance. Essentially the same columns that we have in there. So I'll go ahead and ask it to generate. So my expectation is that it's able to give me the structured output. Okay. So it takes maybe a minute or two to get this done. Now, while it's doing this, let's talk about the infographic. So to create an infographic, you can have different options. So in this case, the infographic will be the visual it creates. You can have it in the landscape form, okay, which is the usual 16 by 9. You can have a portrait form. You can have a square form, okay, and then you can make it detailed or concise. It helps if you come in with a detailed prompt as well. So I think the extraction is done. So we'll go in here, open this up. So this is the preview of the transactions. At this point, I'm going to export this to Sheets. So let's go ahead and export this to Sheets. So it's going to open up, and then this is your data. Right. Now, the good thing is, because this is a Google AI product, you have the option to use Gemini to clean up just with simple prompts. Right. So you realize that I have my posting date here, my transaction date, I have my description, debits and credits. Right. Then I have my balance as stated. Then it includes the source. Right. So you notice that for each transaction, I have the source, which is number 1 for August statement, and then number 2 for the September statement. Now let's do a little cleanup. So what we are going to do is that for each instance where it didn't see a number, it's put not in source. So we are going to prompt these two columns, D and E, and then ask it to replace not in source with zeros. Okay, so just prompt Gemini, replace not in source with zeros, right? So let's do that and then see what it's able to do. Right, so it executes that. Okay, so think of it as how you would typically do this in Power Query or in Excel, right? So that's that. Now let's format the numbers a bit. Okay, so format the numbers to 2, comma, separated 2 decimal place values. Right. So let's see what we get here. Okay, so we have the 2 decimal place coming in. Okay, right. So from this point, you can make other further and better changes, right? You can ask it to delete columns and all those things. But we are here for our dashboard. So we'll come back to NotebookLM and then we'll collapse this one. Now we'll go ahead and then give the prompt for our dashboard. So here I'm going to use the infographic. So I'll come in here and then give it the prompt. So just to be sure, I'm using the landscape aspect ratio, the 16 by 9. I'm using the standard, and I'll go ahead and then give it this prompt. So we'll ask you to create a financial dashboard with a waterfall chart that illustrates the total inflows and outflows and the net position. Right. So let's go ahead and then see what this gets us. So while it's working on this, you know that if you really want to do further and better analysis on this, you could actually download this into Excel, or you can even link it up with Power Query by generating a link and then loading it in Power Query for further and better analysis, right? But if you just are interested in the editable data, then this is good enough. Okay, so let's go back and then see if our infographic is done. So while it's doing this, I want to also invite you to join our Finex AI tribe. Sometimes following these AI tools can be a bit complex, but what we've done is that we formed a community where we share some of these tips so that we are always keeping you abreast or updated on what is new. We use practical case studies. So if you want to join our AI tribe, please scan the code and then join our LinkedIn community. We'll be sharing video insights. Again, if you want to be hands-on, join our upcoming AI and data school starting on the 31st of January. Here, we'll walk you through how to apply some of these AI tools, plus data analytics with Excel and Power BI, so that you can get a sense of how to combine data and AI to achieve more, right? So again, if you want to register, I've shared the link in here. You can join us for these practical sessions coming up shortly. Let's go back and see what we got from our infographic. Right, so back here, we realized that we finished our infographic. So sometimes there's a little randomness, but at least it got us what we wanted. So as you can see, we have our total inflows, we have our total outflows, then we have our net balance growth, right? So I asked you to use the waterfall charts. So it even gives us some context summary on how our financials went during the 2 months. So beyond this insight, you can even get inspiration to create your final dashboard in Excel or even Power BI. So I'll be happy to see you apply it to your sample bank statement or Momo statement. But if you want more videos, I encourage you to join our Finex AI tribe or follow us on Finex Skills Hub for more insights. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
If this video was helpful and you would like to receive more of these videos directly on your WhatsApp, you can send ad to this WhatsApp number. We'll add you to our broadcast list so you receive our videos directly. You can also visit our YouTube channel, Finex Skills Hub. All our old videos are here. Please subscribe for notification of new videos or connect with us on any of these social media handles. Thank you so much for watching.